Are you looking for the best gaming monitor? In this video we're going to be checking out another best gaming monitor, which is the LG 27GP850. We will compare it against similar and newer gaming displays in terms of image quality, performance, design, and value for the price. If you want more information and updated pricing on the product mentioned, be sure to check the links in the description down below. Okay, so let's get to the video. Let's talk about image quality. The UltraGear 27GP850 is based on LG's Nano IPS panel with a wide 98% DCI-P3 color gamut, equivalent to approximately 135% sRGB, for more saturated and vibrant colors, especially when it comes to reds and greens. Most games and web content, however, were designed with the sRGB color space in mind. This can make some scenes look oversaturated, and while there are people who prefer the extra vibrancy, some users prefer the more natural and accurate look. Luckily, the LG 27GP850 monitor has an sRGB emulation mode that can clamp the native approximately 135% gamut to approximately 100% sRGB. This allows you to choose between the sRGB and DCI-P3 gamut, depending on your preference. It's a very useful feature that's sadly often omitted on many wide color gamut monitors. Another bonus is that you can adjust the brightness in the sRGB mode of the LG 27GP850, but color channels are locked. The IPS panel also ensures 178 degrees wide viewing angles, and there are no brightness, contrast, gamma, or color shifts when looking at the screen at skewed angles. Further, the static contrast ratio ranges from 700 by 1 to 1000 by 1, as expected from an IPS display, while the peak brightness amounts to 400 nits, which is more than bright enough under normal lighting conditions. For most people, 27-inch 1440p monitors are the perfect combination of screen size and resolution due to the high 108 ppi, pixels per inch, ratio. You get plenty of screen space and sharp details without any scaling necessary, while the QHD resolution is not nearly as demanding as 4K UHD, allowing you to maintain a high frame rate with a decent gaming PC setup. HDR, high dynamic range, is supported, and the LG 27GP850 is certified as Display HDR 400 by VISA. But due to the lack of local dimming and adequate brightness and contrast ratio, you're not getting the true HDR viewing experience. This is expected from a monitor at this price range, so you can think of its HDR support as a secondary feature. Thanks to its wide color gamut, some HDR content might look a bit better, but you'll most likely prefer to have HDR disabled most of the time. Some IPS glow is present, which is normal for IPS panels, and its intensity varies across different units of the monitor. Let's move on to the performance. The LG 27GP850 has imperceptible input lag of approximately 4 milliseconds, while the pixel response time speed is fast enough to prevent visible trailing behind fast-moving objects up to 180 Hz. There are 4 response time overdrive modes: off, normal, fast, and faster. Off is too slow, while faster introduces too much overshoot. We recommend using the fast mode for the best performance. If you're using AMD FreeSync or NVIDIA G-Sync compatible variable refresh rate (VRR) technology to eliminate tearing, the fast mode works best if your frame rate is above 100 FPS. Below that, you might want to dial it back to normal to prevent overshoot. Over DisplayPort, the VRR range is 48 to 180 Hz for AMD cards and 60 to 180 Hz for GeForce cards. The monitor is officially certified as G-Sync compatible by NVIDIA. You'll need the 466.27 drivers or newer for the optimal performance. Over HDMI, the VRR range is limited to 48 to 144 Hz for AMD GPUs, whereas you cannot use FreeSync over HDMI with NVIDIA cards. Let's get into the features. The monitor also supports motion blur reduction, MBR, which uses backlight strobing to reduce perceived motion blur. Surprisingly, you can use MBR at the same time as VRR, even though the user manual suggests otherwise. However, LG's Nano IPS panels aren't very good when it comes to backlight strobing technologies due to the slow red phosphor decay that leaves bright, red trails. Still, it does make fast-moving objects a bit clearer, so it's worth experimenting with. Depending on the game and your frame rate, refresh rate, it can still be useful. Finally, note that the backlight of the monitor is flicker-free, unless MBR is enabled, so those sensitive to flickering won't get headaches after prolonged use. To access the many features of the LG 27GP850, you can either use the directional joystick to open the OSD, on-screen display, menu, or download LG's on-screen control desktop application. Useful gaming features include black stabilizer, improves visibility in darker games, a refresh rate tracker, custom crosshairs, and various picture presets, including 2 customizable gamer profiles, FPS, RTS, and reader, low blue light filter. You also get advanced image adjustment tools, such as 4 gamma presets, sharpness, 6-axis hue, saturation, and color temperature fine-tuning in increments of 500 kelvins. It's time to talk about design and connectivity. The stand of the monitor offers height adjustment up to 110 mm, tilt by -5 degrees, 15 degrees, 90 degrees clockwise pivot, and 100 by 100 mm VESA mount compatibility. The screen has a matte anti-glare coating that eliminates reflections without making the picture too grainy. Connectivity options include DisplayPort 1.4, 2 HDMI 2.0 ports, limited to 144 Hz, a headphone jack, and a dual USB 3.0 hub. Also worth noting is that over the DisplayPort 1.4 input, the LG 27GP850 can display 1.07 billion colors, 10-bit depth via dithering, at 1440p up to 180 Hz, no need to drop the color depth to 8-bit or use chroma subsampling. Our opinion, the LG 27GP850 is an excellent gaming monitor. Its high 180 Hz refresh rate, fast response time, low input lag, and smooth VRR performance ensure a responsive gaming experience without any distracting visual artifacts. Additionally, its 1440p IPS panel offers crisp details as well as vibrant and accurate colors. Though the contrast ratio could be a bit higher, it's sadly a necessary sacrifice if you want an IPS monitor.
Thanks for watching the video. If you find this video helpful, please help out the channel by giving this video a like or subscribe the channel and tell us which product caught your eye in the comments below.